Everything you learned in school history class was not wrong, but it was incomplete. From ancient civilizations to modern nations, history lessons are often presented as clean stories with clear heroes, villains, and outcomes. Dates are memorized, maps are colored, exams are passed, but history, in reality, is far messier. Behind every chapter you study, there are stories that were shortened, simplified, or never mentioned at all. Not because teachers wanted to deceive you, but because education systems are designed to fit complex human history into limited classroom time. In this video, Info Beyond Borders explores the hidden side of history. Not secret conspiracies, but the parts of the past that school systems rarely explain fully. This is not about blaming schools. It is about understanding how history is selected, shaped, and taught, and why that matters. School history has one major limitation: time. In a few years of education, students are expected to understand thousands of years of human civilization. To make this possible, history must be simplified. Curriculums are designed to fit limited classroom hours, be age-appropriate, support standardized exams, create clear narratives. Complex causes are reduced to simple explanations. Long conflicts are summarized into a few key events. Nuanced perspectives are often removed to avoid confusion. This simplification is not unique to one country. It happens everywhere. Every education system must answer the same question: what should every student know by the end of school? And when something is chosen, something else is left out. School history is not designed to make students historians. It is designed to build basic historical awareness, create shared cultural memory, teach national timelines, prepare students for exams. This means history is often taught as a sequence of major events, a story of progress, a timeline with clear outcomes. But real history is rarely that simple. Behind every important event are economic pressures, cultural conflicts, environmental factors, human mistakes. These details are often skipped, not because they are unimportant, but because they're difficult to test in exams. History books do not write themselves. They are shaped by curriculum boards, education ministries, academic committees, cultural priorities. These groups must decide which events matter most, which figures are emphasized, which regions get more focus. These decisions are influenced by national identity, cultural values, social stability, educational goals. This does not mean history is fake. It means history is curated. Every textbook is a selection, not a complete record. No historical account is completely neutral. History is written by people, and people always have perspectives. The same event can be described in very different ways depending on who recorded it, who translated it, who preserved it. For example, a war may be taught as a victory in one country and a tragedy in another. An empire may be remembered as a golden age by some and oppression by others. School history usually presents one dominant perspective, often the one most relevant to national identity. This helps build unity, but it also limits understanding. Hidden history is rarely erased intentionally. More often, it is simply left out. Commonly excluded topics include smaller civilizations, everyday people's lives, economic motivations behind wars, failed experiments, and wrong ideas, contributions from less documented cultures. Textbooks focus on what is easiest to explain and test, not what is most complete. As a result, history can feel like a straight line, even though it was shaped by uncertainty and debate. Many historical events taught in schools are not false. They are simply one-sided. This is not because the other side didn't exist, but because history lessons usually focus on clear narratives. For example, exploration is often taught as discovery. But for many indigenous populations, the same events meant disruption, loss, or cultural change. Industrial revolutions are taught as progress. But rarely do textbooks fully explore their environmental costs or the lives of workers who lived through them. Scientific breakthroughs are taught through famous names, but the forgotten contributors, assistants, rivals, or earlier thinkers are often missing. History lessons usually focus on outcomes, not processes, success, not struggle, results, not consequences. This keeps lessons simple, but it also hides complexity. You may have heard the phrase, "History is written by the winners." This statement is partly true, but incomplete. Winners often preserve records, control education systems, shape national narratives. However, history is not written by winners alone. It is also shaped by what survives, what is translated, what is rediscovered. Many voices were not silenced. They were never recorded, or their records were lost. This means history is shaped not only by power, but by chance. Schools often teach what is best documented, not necessarily what was most important. Hidden history is not a problem of one nation or one culture. It happens everywhere. Every country faces the same challenges: limited classroom time, young learners, national identity, social cohesion. To manage this, education systems simplify history. They select stories that unite rather than divide, are easy to teach, fit exam structures. As a result, uncomfortable details are often postponed or omitted entirely. This is not always intentional bias. It is often structural limitation. Education gives us a foundation. Understanding requires expansion. School history provides timelines, key figures, major events, but understanding history requires multiple perspectives, context, cause and consequence. Many people leave school believing history is complete. In reality, school history is an introduction, not a conclusion. The danger is not what schools teach. It is believing that what we learned is all there is. The way we understand history shapes how we see the world, how we judge societies, how we interpret news and conflicts. Incomplete history can lead to oversimplified thinking, cultural misunderstandings, false assumptions. When adults rely only on school history, they may struggle to understand why different groups remember the same event differently, why historical debates still matter today, why perspectives clash. History is not just about the past. It influences the present. It's important to clarify something. Hidden history is not secret knowledge, conspiracy theory, suppressed truth. It is simply history that requires deeper study. Universities, historians, and researchers study these topics openly. They just do not fit easily into school textbooks. Hidden history is not hidden forever. It is hidden by simplicity. Once we leave school, history education does not have to stop. In fact, this is where real historical understanding begins. Adults have access to tools that classrooms often cannot provide. Multiple perspectives, specialized research, original sources. To learn history beyond textbooks, one must shift approach. Instead of asking, "What happened?" ask, "Who is telling this story and why?" Useful ways to deepen understanding include reading accounts from different regions, comparing multiple historians' interpretations, exploring archaeology and primary documents, watching long-form documentaries, studying history thematically, not just chronologically. History becomes clearer when it is approached as a conversation, not a conclusion. When people hear that history is rewritten, they often assume deception. But history is rewritten for a simple reason. New information emerges. Archaeological discoveries uncover forgotten cities. New translations reveal misunderstood texts. Fresh perspectives challenge old assumptions. This is not rewriting history. It is refining understanding. School textbooks cannot change every year, but knowledge does. This gap creates the illusion that schools hide history, when in reality, they freeze it at a moment in time. Understanding hidden history changes how we see the modern world. It helps us realize that nations are shaped by stories. Borders are recent inventions. Cultural identities evolve. Progress is uneven. When we understand that history has multiple perspectives, we become more patient with disagreement and more curious about complexity. Hidden history teaches humility. It reminds us that our current understanding may also be incomplete. The most important lesson history class teaches is not a date or a name. It is this: knowledge depends on perspective. History is not about memorizing events. It is about understanding context. When schools teach simplified history, they give us a starting point, not a final answer. The real mistake is not what schools teach. It is assuming that learning ends at graduation. In a world of rapid information, misinformation spreads easily. Simplified history can fuel misunderstanding, reinforce stereotypes, create false certainty. But expanded historical understanding does the opposite. It builds critical thinking, empathy, global awareness. History is not about choosing sides. It is about understanding systems, decisions, and consequences. The hidden history schools never teach is not hidden out of malice. It is hidden by necessity, simplicity, and structure. Schools give us foundations. Understanding gives us depth. The past is not fixed. Our interpretation of it evolves as we learn more. When we accept that history is complex, we become better thinkers, better listeners, and better global citizens. The goal is not to reject what we learned in school, but to build upon it. Because history is not just about where we came from. It is about how we understand the world today. Subscribe to Info Beyond Borders, where we explore knowledge beyond classrooms, borders, and assumptions. Subscribe Info Beyond Borders now for more mind-blowing knowledge.